Good morning. Who's ready to have a cup of Joe? I got mine right here. Verona coffee, something. I don't know. My damn machine started acting up again, too. After one day. It was nice for one day. I don't know. I have to get something else instead of my K-Cup machine. It's lazy. And I'm lazy. I need to get going here. Hopefully you're getting ready to have a wonderful day. And I want to thank those people that have been complimenting me and sending me messages and so on and so forth. Really appreciate it. I'm not looking to monetize this or turn it into something big. This is just my gesture of talking to my friends and telling you what I feel about things. And if it sparks some thought or conversation with somebody else and helps you look at something in a different way and you respond to me and I can look at something in a different way, we're making the world a better place. That's how this works. We stopped talking to each other. All of us, everybody. It became about talking at each other on Twitter, on Facebook, on whatever. This is how I feel. If you don't agree with me, you're a scumbag. And it's just whatever. We're human. We should be treating each other like humans with some level of dignity and respect, right? Now, last Monday night. Now I have no notes here because this came up yesterday, and this is going to be a stream of consciousness, so it's probably going to be unintelligible at times. Monday night, the United States women's soccer team began their Olympic tournament, and they took a beating to Sweden 3-0, which is a pretty rough beating in soccer for those of you that don't follow the game. And of course, immediately, because of social issues and the right-wing sports media, it's just as ridiculous as the left. I mean, I follow it, and some of it's pretty good, but it's really gotten out of hand. And they immediately took a gesture at the beginning of the match and mischaracterized it. And this is uncomfortable to talk about because I have a lot of friends in the soccer community, and a lot of them are pretty far left cats. And well, that's fine. But how they feel about me is how they feel about me. I'm not going to back down on anything that I believe or anything that I feel, but I'm going to treat you with the respect you treat me. And you have a lane to do your thing, do it. I have a lane to do my thing. I will stay out of yours. You will stay out of mine. Sometimes when people get my shit, I'm rough. I have a rough time stepping on the brakes. But I don't get in the way of anyone else either. So anyway, they kneel before the game. All the players on both sides, and this is something that's been going on internationally all year. And it's a gesture. There's no national anthems going on, anything like that. There's no flags. And it's a gesture to unite against racism. Okay, works for me. I mean, what's the problem with this? Why are we having such a problem with it? Now, I know why we're having a problem with it. Because the initial imagery was kneeling during the national anthem in the United States, and then the organization behind that. So I'm going to touch some nerves here, but, well, maybe by touching a couple of nerves, it'll help bring some more light on some of this stuff. There are people who do not like the national anthem. And there are people who struggle with this country, and they look at the negatives, maybe not appreciate the positives as much. Okay, I mean, you do what you got to do. If you don't want to stand during the national anthem, I am as ardent a supporter of freedom of speech and expression as anyone you're ever going to meet. Right or left, I'm going to piss you off. Let me tell you why. Because I believe when you silence somebody's rights to express themselves, either with their voice or with their action, by kneeling or whatever, they're going to be expressing themselves to be heard in another manner. And it's usually not going to be very benign. That's why I'm okay with it. I don't care, right, left, you express yourself however you need to express yourself. And you have the right, whoever you are, to be offended by it. And that's how it works. That's that. And believe me, like I said, I will piss off the right and the left. Example, going back in the 80s. I don't remember the name of the artist, and I use the artist in quotes. But I don't remember this person's name. It was a guy, I'm pretty sure. But he did some pretty provocative stuff. It was really just whatever. It was just awful. But one of the things he did was a picture. I'm pretty sure it was just a picture of a crucifix with Jesus on it, submerged in a jar of urine, and he called it Piss Christ. Now, of course, being a Christian myself, I didn't like it, okay? But I have to respect his right, not just as a person. This is how he needs to express himself, his anger, whatever, or it's just angst, or he just wants to get paid, whatever. I don't know. But he has to have the right to be able to call that art and move on. Now, of course, the Christian right got really pissed off about it. The guy the face I remember behind it was Jesse Helms, a former senator. And, he really lit him up, and we need to restrict this and we need to restrict that. And I was like, oh, no, we don't. We don't need to restrict anything. We don't need to restrict anything. But the left did it too. You got to remember when the parental advisories were put on the records, and I'm forgetting the acronym that was used. You got to remember the person that led that was Tipper Gore. She was no Republican. So it's been both sides, and that was ridiculous too. You can't suppress a person's right to express themselves. Leave it alone. When somebody kneels during national, I don't know how much of that goes on anymore. I never paid attention to it in the first place. I'm doing my thing. And I'm saying this as a person that sang the national anthem at professional sporting events out here with the soccer team. I'm going to say at least 23 to 25 times. So I think I'm allowed to speak about this a little bit. When I sing the national anthem, or I hear the national anthem, I think of my dad. I think of my uncles that served. I think about my cousins who were forced to fight in that fucking war in Vietnam. My nephew, who was served in the Navy during the Iraq deal. And I say thank you to all of them and everybody else. I also pray for the stuff that we haven't worked out yet. And I just ask, Lord, whatever it takes. How do we inch this thing closer to what it's supposed to be? And that's what I do. If you want to walk around, you walk around. I don't like it, but I have to respect it. Do I think that people who are so angry at the American flag don't understand some things? Yes, I do. Or they're choosing to ignore some things? Yes, I do. But they're expressing themselves how they need to express themselves in a peaceful and respectful manner to their ideas. Okay? What am I supposed to do? Take baseball bats to people? Or how about spin that around? How about people who stand for the national anthem getting beaten? This country and freedom, it's hard, it's difficult. And we take it for granted every single day. I do. We take it for granted. Freedom isn't easy, man. It's not supposed to be. And we're now at a point where there is a force at work of people who have been deemed elites. I'm a little leery of that word. But there are a group of people who are trying to garner an amazing amount of power over us, using the people that are empowering government now to do so. It's being called the Great Reset. I don't want to be part of a Great Reset. Just because we screwed up at times in our past doesn't mean we tear the whole thing down and start over. What are we starting over with? What? What principle is better than having the right for life, for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? It's not promised. Happiness is not promised. And we screwed it up. No one's saying we didn't. That people are... I'm trying not to get too deep in that rabbit hole. But we're here today. What are you doing to make things better for your brother? And when I say your brother, I'm your brother. What am I doing? This is what I'm doing. I'm telling you how I feel. That's all I know how to do. I don't like that people kneel during the national anthem, but this wasn't people kneeling during the national anthem. And I'll end it with this. And this is, like I said, I know people may struggle with this, and it's been a continuous argument. But I think folks are starting to really wake up to this. I can respect the fact, I've talked to friends who are black, people that I'm pretty tight with, and individuals who I've just met, who I respect, and I understand that their character, having known them, they're good people, that there is an issue between the policing community and the African American community at some level. I'm not black, I'm not a cop. I sit out. I just listen. Who the hell am I? I don't know. I'm not going to listen. I'm certainly not going to listen to Fox or CNN talk about this, because a lot of them don't know, especially these people in the media that live in these gated communities. What are you kidding me? You're going to tell us about what's going on in the street? You know nothing about the street. You've never lived in the street. Whew. See, I'm trying to be real careful here. So I respect that exists, and that is a continual conversation to make it as good as it could possibly be, to keep people as safe as possible, because I don't want to give cops too much power. The ability to arrest someone is an amazing amount of power in a country like this where you have freedom. That's an amazing amount of power. But at the same time, I'm not going to indict every single cop and call them whatever. That's insanity. And it's been exposed. And I talked about this stuff years ago. The organization behind the movement Black Lives Matter, the people, they're avowed Marxists. These are people that believe in tearing it down and starting over, and they're using this as a cudgel to do it. Well, I don't want to tear it down and start over. I want to fix it, because I have the right to believe in God or not believe in God. The government has no right to tell me how to believe in God or not believe in God. And that's a core principle. I'm not going to get into the whole Marxism thing. I'm really against it. Let's just leave it at that. Any system of government that tells me, any system of belief that tells me that I have to worship the state is something I'm not going to do. Period. That literally enslaves its entire population. That's going to fix things? Get the fuck out of here. Golly. Anyway, let's get back. Like I said, stream of consciousness. It's okay to say that I want things to be improved between the police and people who are black, and separate that from, there's an organization behind that movement that I'm not down with on any level. I'm allowed to do that. And if you have a problem with that, that's on you. What, you don't care about black people? Shut the fuck up. Come on, man. I care about people. That's why I'm saying it. Because for some reason, being white, we're not allowed to talk about that. We're not allowed to talk about a group of Marxists. I'm not saying that everybody that kneels is a Marxist. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just the opposite. I'm sure most of them are not. But the fact is, and the greater point is that I'm going to respect people's rights to do what they want to do, to protest whatever they want to protest, and stand up for what they want to believe in. I'm going to respect that. I'm not always going to agree on how it's done. No, I don't like when people kneel during the national anthem. There's a lot of good that this country has done that seems to get wiped off the map. And everything comes down to, when you watch the left-wing media, everything comes down to everybody's a racist. No, they're not. Don't be an idiot. Well, there's whiteness and blackness. Yeah, repackaged Marxism. Oppressor and oppressed. And for some reason, I'm oppressing somebody right now. Are you fucking kidding me? Maybe listening to my voice is oppressive. I may agree with you on that. I love you. I want you to have the best life you possibly can have. But I don't want to tear it down and start over. because I don't think we start over again. I don't think we win. And I have too many examples of this other version of government over the last 100 years that I feel this one-party system that they're trying to set up here. And I would feel the same way if it was Republicans, because I'm not, like I said, I've been a registered independent for 32 years. So please, I'm not a Republican. Whew. But when I look back now, and I'll end it with this, the system of government that I feel they're trying to set up here, and I look back at the examples over the last 100 years of where this was attempted, Soviet Union, Cuba, Venezuela, Angola, North Korea, Cambodia, and now China. Go back and look at how those people and how that went down. I'm not even going to give you the numbers. All of them, including China, repressive, violent to their own citizens. I guess if you've never heard of Tiananmen Square, geez, or what's going on in Hong Kong right now, and what eventually is going to happen in Taiwan. People just want to be free. Leave them alone. And for those of you on the right, freedom means sometimes you got to eat some shit and let people express themselves how they choose to express themselves. These forced these displays of patriotism, as much as I don't like when people don't stand. When I think of forced displays of patriotism, I'm not thinking of the United States. I'm thinking of missiles and May Day in the Soviet Union. These are people that are forced, or in North Korea right now, people that are forced to display patriotism. Well, that never ends up well. You have to love your country by choice. You can't force people to love anything. The more you force them to do it, the more they're going to friggin' resent it. Lighten up. Golly, I'm riffing. Like I said, I was going to sign off. I love you. I want you to have a great day today. I want you to have a great life. I want to be a part of it somehow. If I'm helping make you better, I'm making me better. I got more days behind me than ahead. You know? Just want to be part of something good. I love you. You have a wonderful day, okay?